Welcome back. Joining us on the show now is PR Sundaram of World Gold Council. Som, hi, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, the move in the gold prices, and we haven't seen that big despair of a move come in, even as the US Fed was slightly more hawkish than the street expected.
Yes, the prices at the current moment, it looks it can turn either way. The industry doesn't seem to be too worried. That's the other thing that we pick up. It is quite possible, therefore, we could see a very, very good quarter four, even at these prices.
So the other thing is, the kind of jewelers we speak to in India, and we speak to a lot of them, the sense we get from on ground is that there isn't really a very strong direction in buying. The month of August was good, and then there's a bad week and a better week. And so there isn't really a trend that we've seen set in yet.
Absolutely, Manisha, you hit the nail on the head. And that's exactly what we are picking up. Pockets where people are very, very confident, the sentiments are high, and pockets where people say, no, it's, these prices, things are not working out. But if you look at the number of B2C events that are happening, that doesn't seem to give you an indication that this is an industry in distress, clearly. So many of them, and everything seems to be very successful. So it is important, therefore, we wait till the monsoons are over. My own expectation is that whenever things are like this, seem directionless, you could see something lurking. I mean, you could see a very big jump in demand. A slump doesn't seem to be possible now. So it is quite possible that quarter four turns out to be extraordinarily good.
So with the kind of buying that we've seen, the sovereign gold bond, a record July, an expectation that the month of September would have done as well, and a total holding at 100 tons now. Do you see that as competition vis-a-vis on physical buying by gold?
Well, our view on sovereign gold bond doesn't deter the physical buyers. Actually, It draws people who are otherwise not very much thinking of gold. It draws such people and those who are market savvy. Because you definitely need people who are buying gold through the digital means. So it is a very good instrument, but it is not something which deters physical buying.
And we still have the Bank of England today and Bank of Japan happen tomorrow. So how would you look at the next 24, 48 hours in sense of the global news?
Well, what we think is that we are going to get we have already got a direction from Fed, right? There could be a high. But it is also intending that inflation is not fully tamed. Okay, so either way, you could take what you want from this. Inflation is not tamed, rate hike is not done with. So there is a headwind and a tailwind there. So you are going to see these rates probably. I don't want to comment on what's going to happen to those rates, but you will see that the market, as you rightly said, is headed up. As we see, it is not something which you clearly see that gold prices are going to soften in the near term. That doesn't seem to be a likelihood at this moment of time.
All right. Other thing really is about, exports of gold, jewelry via courier, responsible gold mining. Those are a few things that also seem to be happening. So for the industry, there is a lot of tick marks that are coming in right now. How would you look at 2023 till now?
Well, we are going to see more of this, more of controls. When I say controls, regulatory controls, responsible sourcing, many changes happening in the practices. We will see many more of these coming through. We ourselves, as the World Gold Council, now have brought all our miners, our 33 miners have signed up to enhanced supply chain transparency. So Dubai is doing certain things. So we are going to see more of these kind of things coming through, and industry will have to brace itself for further regulatory changes as we go along, all for the betterment of the industry. But it is going to be a period of transition, certainly 2023, the next quarter, and 2024. You will see more such regulatory changes coming through.
So how have you seen hallmarking go across? We do understand that there are more districts, more centers now being opened around. Would you say that it is now finally a level playing field? Every jewelry in India is now hallmarked?
Yes, that is the indication that we are getting, although there are people who are still saying that there are, pockets where you could see fake hallmarking and things like that. But I think the enforcement has now improved dramatically. So if you are looking to see the next 2 years, it always takes a little time, a big move like this. I think you will have hallmarking and beyond question now. I mean, nobody is going to really challenge this or the HUID or anything like that. And consumers will get used to it.
So I also want to ask you about the overall jewelry sector within India. I mean, we've seen expansions of stores. We've seen jewelers move from one state to another after being there stagnant perhaps for a long time. And there are more and more stores. Every jeweler that we speak to, listed and not, is expanding stores. How would you look at the overall industry? I mean, we seem to be looking at stronger numbers coming in every quarter.
Well, the way it looks like is the organized sector is expanding dramatically. Clearly, they are seeing, as I said, with a lot of regulatory changes, I think you will see more growth in the organized sector. They are about, 35 to 40%. We expect in the next 5 years, it will definitely become 2/3 of the market. So the organized sector clearly is expanding. What it does to the small retailers, we will have to see unless they actually adapt to more, the modern practices, digital, platforms. We will have to see that. What ONDC, there are opportunities also rising for the small jewelers, the ONDC kind of thing. Nothing has been done yet, but what it does to these small jewelers will have to be seen. So at the moment, it looks like the big players are definitely growing faster than the smaller ones, but this is a digital world, and you got to be always, looking out for the next big change.
Okay, all right, Manisha. Thanks very much for joining in and giving us that perspective and what we could expect in terms of prices in gold going forward. We need to take a short break with the news that the